Hello, I'm Natalie Walker. This video we are going to look at haunted objects. I'd recommend first that you have a look at the previous video on energy house clearings and clearing the energy of a house, because in order to clear objects it's a similar kind of process. So have a look at that video as well. I'll put the link below. Now, I've been getting a lot of inquiries about what you can do if you feel like you've got a negatively haunted object, and there are a few things that you can do. This is more common than I'd realised, so I thought I'd put together a video to help you guys out. So let's first look at what kind of objects can be haunted. In my experience, it can be pretty much anything. Okay, so we're talking dolls, old dolls usually, boxes, antique boxes seem to be quite common, mirrors, clothes, items of clothing, furniture, statues, and of course the more common one, Ouija boards, especially old Ouija boards for some reason. But when we say haunted, what we're really saying is that an object has picked up energy from something else. So it's not usually the object itself. You know, even Ouija boards, they're just cardboard or wood. But what has happened is that this object has been usually negatively imprinted by something else, which is similar to what happens when you have problems in general in a house, which is why I'm saying have a look at the house energy clearing. So when I read an object, when someone asks me to read an object, whether they're having problems with it or not, I do a similar thing to when I'm reading people. You connect with the energy, and when you do this you can feel whether an object has a more positive light charge or whether it's more heavy and negative and dense. And if it's a really troubled spirit, you can pick up on this and why it's attached to the object as well. So things to look out for if you feel that you've got an object that is being haunted, that has been haunted. A few things I've found while working in this field are when the object's around, anyone around it, you know, it doesn't matter who it is, usually more than one person, they'll start experiencing sudden unexplainable illnesses, and in extreme cases a lot of deaths around this object. So that would be one thing to look out for. Wherever this object goes, bad things start to happen. People get really sick. Another thing to look out for would be bad vibes. You know, your feelings. How do you feel around this object? Sometimes, a few cases I've worked on, people have been given something as a lucky charm, but to them it feels horrible. It feels negative. Bad things happen while they've got this with them. So, you know, don't ignore your feelings. That's your gut instincts. That's your indicator. We are our feelings, you know. Most psychics, when they're tuning in, they're using their feelings and tuning into someone else's feelings. That is your biggest indicator something's wrong, so don't ignore it. And then there's a more obvious scenario, such as increased paranormal activity. You know, it sounds really obvious, but if the object is moving around on its own or changing in some way, and there's more than one witness, that's always a good sign. Yeah, keep an eye on that. You know, don't ignore what you're seeing. Don't talk yourself out of it. Again, around the object, observe what's going on. Children and animals are really good. They will tell you straight what is going on. Watch your animals around this object. Are cats or dogs afraid to go near this object? Are they whimpering? Are they always sick around this object? And children, you know, if they're picking up on bad vibes around the object. So they're just a few things to look out for. A few objects that are more susceptible to picking up and holding on to energy would be, first of all, second-hand objects. Again, if we think of everything in terms of energy, when we're dealing with second-hand objects, remember they've been passed from person to person. They've picked up on all the energy of a home, environment, or all the other people. So it's always good to give those an energy clearing. If you don't want to get rid of them, give them a full energy clearing. Again, it's a similar thing with inherited objects. I've known a few cases where the object and the person that has gone to spirit are still attached. They still have an attachment. And this isn't always negative. You know, sometimes it can be a really positive thing. It can be comforting. You know, someone knows that a loved one is still around them and they're being shown this from what's happening around the object. So, but if it is a negative thing, then yeah, again, a good energy clearing. Or if you're not comfortable, then get rid of it. Objects that I would say avoid, totally avoid. And to me, I didn't realise how common this was, but quite a few people have had this experience. So any object that has been used in a dark magic or dark occult ritual, or designed with that purpose. You know, you see these wands and stuff with human hair and things like that attached to them. And again, sometimes people are given these things, or they're handed down as a lucky charm, or something that is supposed to improve your chances of good fortune. You know, I didn't realise how common these were, but yeah, if you feel or you know that they've been used in a dark way, I would avoid them. And by dark, I don't mean, you know, in terms of black and white, I mean negative, unproductive way with dark intent. You know, don't have those around. If you can get a reading on the object, it will always help if you're not sure. And then again, another obvious one to me, any object that has been used to contain a spirit. Now, this is going back centuries, but years ago, there was a practice where if someone had conjured up a spirit or negative energy, they, instead of getting rid of them, they'd use an object such as a box or a glass bottle to contain this entity. And these objects are still around, you know. Now, a lot of people have said to me, oh, it's just a rumour, I don't know if it's true. Even if you don't know if it's true, I wouldn't encourage keeping that in the home, because if it has been used for that, it's difficult, it's very challenging to just get rid of that energy. So yeah, if you can remove it, that would be best. Okay, what else can you do? If, for example, someone had asked me about a Ouija board that they felt was still attached to a negative spirit that had been drawn through it. So if it's a Ouija board or something like that, I wouldn't recommend just burning it or throwing it out, because if you're having problems with it, that means that this energy is still very much active. And because it's so active, if you just destroy the board, which is really just a tool, you know, it's being used as a vessel, if you just destroy that, it's just going to, in my experience, look for the next vessel or something to jump into. So I would recommend a full energy clearing again, and then the next step would be either burying it or putting it in deep water. That seems to have a more calming effect, and you know, they don't seem to come back as quickly. But again, if it's just an object where you feel like it's just causing you a load of bad luck, an energy cleanse again is always good, and then you can remove it or throw it out. But if it's anything, you know, really bad and paranormal, deep paranormal things going on, then yeah, you'd need to, I would recommend calling in a professional. Okay, so if in doubt, call in the professionals. Do some research yourself on the objects, and always keep good intention around any cleansing you do. If you're not comfortable, get someone else in to do it, someone that is used to working with objects that have spirits attached. So good luck with that. If you have any more inquiries, just email me. I'll put my email address below. And that's it for this video.